I was erased before I even had the chance to live. At 14 years old. My parents didn't just throw me out of their house. They threw me out of their hearts. I still remember the sound. Not their words, not even the door slamming. The sound I can't forget is the black trash bag they stuffed my clothes into, crinkling as they shoved it into my arms. To them, I wasn't a son. I was waste, something to be dragged to the curb. That night, I stood on the sidewalk with everything I owned sagging inside that bag, my breath fogging the cold air. Curtains shifted. Neighbors peeked. No one stepped out. And for the first time in my life, I realized something bone deep. I was completely, utterly alone. Most kids at 14 worry about homework or crushes or football practice. Me? I worried about where I could sleep without getting jumped. I worried about what scraps might still be edible in the diner's trash bags. I worried about how long it would take before hunger hollowed me out. The first week felt like dying in slow motion. I was too proud to beg, too scared to ask for help, so I survived on whatever I could scavenge. One night, crouched behind a greasy dumpster, I found half a sandwich. I ate it like it was a feast. And in that moment, I promised myself I would never forget how it felt to be less than human. My parents, let's call them Lillian and Victor, had always been experts at appearances. Lillian loved spotless kitchens, designer perfumes, friends who praised her beauty. Victor loved control. He spoke in judgments. If I brought home a grade that wasn't perfect, he'd sneer, "A Whitlock should never be average." I never once heard him say he was proud of me. And the night they shut that door, they didn't just abandon me, they erased me. But not everyone in that family erased me. My little sister, Ilara, was 12 when it happened. I can still see her face at the upstairs window, palms pressed against the glass as I walked away. She cried for me. She wanted to reach for me, but our parents yanked her back. That image, the desperation in her eyes, burned itself into my soul. And then there was my grandfather, Elias Whitlock. He was Victor's father, a man carved out of stone and steel. Everyone else feared him. I didn't. He had this quiet way of showing care, slipping me a 20 when he thought no one was looking, muttering, "Don't waste it." No softness, no pity, just a nod of respect. That was his way of saying I mattered. For years, I built my life from ashes. Odd jobs, gas stations, dishwashing, shoveling snow. I lived in shelters, on benches, in cramped rented rooms. I went hungry more times than I can count. But I kept going. Every paycheck, no matter how small, was proof that I didn't need Lillian or Victor to breathe. When I turned 16, Elias found me one night. I was huddled under a fire escape, freezing, ready to give up. He crouched down, set a wooden box in my lap, and told me, "Inside this box is something worth more than money. Don't open it until the time is right. Keep it safe. Promise me." I asked him, "Why me?" And his answer, "Because you're the only one I trust. They want what I have. But you've never wanted anything but love." That night, I promised him. And for 12 years, I carried that box through every storm. I thought about pawning it 100 times, but the promise held me back. It became my anchor, the proof that someone believed in me. Then came the phone call. Elias was gone. The funeral would be at the Whitlock estate, the same house I'd been exiled from. I showed up in a borrowed suit that didn't fit, shoes pinching my feet, driving a car that coughed smoke with every mile. And when I pulled into the long driveway, I saw them, my parents, stepping out of polished luxury cars, dripping with jewelry, laughing like royalty. They hadn't changed. If anything, they looked richer, colder. Whispers filled the air about Elias's fortune. $42 million. My parents, my uncle, every vulture in that room wanted their slice. But when the lawyer stood up, folder in hand, the room stilled. His voice cut through the silence. "The heir to everything will be the one who kept my secret safe." Murmurs rippled. My mother hissed, "What does that even mean?" My father scoffed. My uncle smirked. And then the lawyer's eyes locked on me. He smiled, lifted his hand, and pointed at me. Gasps erupted. My father leapt to his feet, shouting. My mother's pearls rattled against her chest as she shook her head. My uncle slammed his fist against the chair. They all screamed, demanded answers. The lawyer asked me, calm as stone, "Do you still have the box?" Time stopped. My chest tightened. But I reached under my chair, pulled out the same wooden box I had carried for 12 long years. The brass lock gleamed beneath the chandelier. The room fell silent. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. My father lunged forward. "That proves nothing. He could have stolen it." But the lawyer shut him down. "Elias entrusted this box to him. And only him." I set the box on the table. My hands trembled as the lawyer produced a small brass key. He placed it in my palm. "Your grandfather said only you could open it." The lock clicked. The lid creaked open. Inside was a leather-bound journal and an envelope sealed in red wax. The lawyer lifted the journal and began to read Elias's words. "I built this fortune from nothing, but wealth means nothing without character. To my family, the one who inherits will not be the loudest, nor the greediest, nor the most polished. It will be the one who carried loyalty in silence. The one who bore the weight of a promise when no one else cared." Every eye turned to me. My mother's lips trembled. My father's fist shook. My uncle's smirk collapsed. And Alara, my sister, looked at me with tears in her eyes. In that moment, I realized something. I wasn't the boy they threw away anymore. I was the man Elias had believed I could be. The fortune wasn't the real inheritance. The real gift was the truth. When the people who should love you the most betray you, you still get to decide who you become. And to anyone listening now, if you've ever been cast out, erased, made to feel like nothing, hear me, survival is your proof. And one day, the world will see what they tried to throw away.